Yes, people. Welcome back to Friday with Friends. It's your boy, Brother Guy. We are back again with another preview of one Friday Fights 141, which will be live this Friday, the 6th of February at 1:30 South African time. We will also will be live on our YouTube channel for a nice watch along. Hope to see you all there. As always, like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Hope you all have a fantastic week. Much love to everyone that's been tuning into our channel. The comments are looking good. I like the banter. TSPV, Rory, some new faces, all the lads out there. Much love to all of you guys. But as always, we will start at the top of the card of this fight card. It is a banger. Even some of the debut fighters on this card are some fun fighters to watch. I'm not too sure if they're going to be successful, but based on the tape that I've gathered and I've watched in some of these guys, I must say there's some good performances out there. Or at least what I'm going to expect for this Friday Fights card, which is good because that means that from top to bottom, we are going to expect a bang of a fight card again. But what's to expect, right? I mean, what can you say about that in terms of one Friday fights? It's like almost every Friday there's just banger fight cards every single time. But okay, lads, let me bring it up on screen for you guys. We will start at top of the fight card, where we have actually a fantastic fight between Komawut and Samingdam. And this is one of those fights in the fight card where I'd be very surprised if this fight actually goes all the way. Just because of stylistically how these guys kind of fight. They almost both similar. I would say Komawut's slightly bigger, but they're both similar. Let me give you some stats and some numbers, and then we'll talk about some X's and O's as to who used to victory for either guy, right? So Komawut, he is 26 years old. His record in one championship is 7 wins, 6 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 1 win by KO, 4 fight losing streak. Surprised. He lost to Anar Mamadov by second round TKO in his last fight. And I'll come back to that loss because it's something that I find where Komawut's gonna struggle all the time, right? Samingdam is 23 years old. His record in one championship is 7 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 1 win by TKO. 1 win by TKO. 1 win by 2 wins by KO. 1 win by TKO. 3 fight win streak, beating Son Rock, who's been on an uprising at the moment by unanimous decision. Just as I decided to record the episode, and I'm starting to get warm here. Well, it's not nerves or anything. It's literally just because it's fucking hot here in Cape Town right now. So if we're talking about that record, it's virtually the same. I would say Komawut has got 3 more fights than Samingdam in the organization, but both of them have 7 wins. Samingdam has lost less times. Also, like I said, 3 fights less as well. Stylistically, it's fairly even. I think these guys are built similarly. I would say Komawut is slightly fuller, but stance-wise, they got a very similar base, a very similar style. I would say Komawut is a little bit more boxing heavy, where Samingdam does switch it up a little bit. He does attack the legs, he does attack the body to set up these boxing combinations. Both guys have got the similar killer blow, which is that hook. They like to clubbing hook. It's one of their favorite weapons to use. I will say Samingdam does utilize the jab a little bit more than Komawut does. Komawut does blast inside low kicks, outside low kicks to set up his boxing, but primarily he wants to get in very tight and let that body shots come over the top with his hooks. Very similar style to Chocolate Chai, actually, Komawut. I mean, the reason why I said I wanted to bring back to the Anar Mamedov performance is because whenever Komawut is faced with fighters that are not only taller than him, but fighters that have a little bit more of a wider range of weapons they could use, Komawut starts to take pictures in a fight like that. He starts to get in the back foot and he starts chasing shadows and then he gets aggressive and then walks into a combination that puts him down. What I'm trying to say is that Komawut, when he's fighting a fighter that's a little bit more technical than he is, like Mamedov, for example, then Komawut starts chasing shadows and he's not in the fight. And I know Mamedov was a little bit bigger than him, a bit more overweight, so it was a bit of an unfair matchup. But I mean, Desana took him to town, Sonasen took him to town, Suakim took him to town. You know what I mean? He's fought against Pandrit and Alexei Palikov. So he's fought against like literally the biggest names, right? Yodlek Pitt as well, another guy that fights very similar to him. Um, all these guys, in my opinion, are technically better, meaning that they know how to use the rounds, they know how to, tap shots. What do they call it in Thailand? It's I mean, I've got the term now, but it's not really full power shots. It's like we just tapping and tapping to get reads, and when fighters utilize that kind of style on him and they manage their distance and stay away from the power shots and they use their range on him, and he's kind of like, yeah, you can kind of see the sort of inexperience, if you will. Samingdam is less experienced than Komawut. I would say, he's slightly shorter and could be the same height. Samingdam is 5'4". Komawut might also be 5'4", actually. Yeah, right. But Samingdam does attack with a little bit more method to his fighting. He doesn't just go in there and wail on you and walk you down and believe that he's stronger, which is Komawut fights. Samingdam does piece you up. He has a selection of targets that he like to use before he gets to that boxing heavy stance that he takes on later in the fight. So I do believe that Samingdam has got a little bit more advantages in this fight. I do think that Komawut's got the power over him. I mean, might even bully him, and this fight might be met in the middle. But if Samingdam fights with the game plan in this fight, work off his jab and work on the inside low kick, on the outside low kick, and attack the stomach, keep working that jab, you'll weigh on Komawut. And then late second round, third round, you can start increasing the volume, increasing the power. You know what I mean? Put a little bit more weight into his shots, and you can get him out of there. And that's how you beat him. The game plan is very simple. You fight technically, fight smart. Don't get into a slugfest with him, because then you're gonna come up second best. You're gonna give the fight 50-50, even if you are by far more technical than Komawut. The moment you go into a fight with him and you want to slug it out with him in the middle of the ring, you giving yourself less and less chance to win that fight. So it's a great matchup for both guys. Komawut's gonna have to be the bully. I think he's gonna have to not take pictures. Don't try and fight too technically. I think make it a dog fight, because Samingdam does have that dog in him to get brought, or to get sort of goaded into a fight where he doesn't want to be into. You know what I mean? He does sometimes abandon the game plan and just start swinging on you, right? But I do believe that the fight against Sanrak kind of taught Samingdam to be technical. It had to. I almost thought he lost that fight. I was like, I picked him to win, but then when I watched the fight, I was like, Sanrak's beating him. Sanrak is beating him every round here. But they gave it to Samingdam. And I think why they gave it to Samingdam is because he was technically sound in that fight. He didn't allow Sanrak to bamboozle him with the body kicks and all those feints and stuff. Samingdam was actually just aggressive the whole time, and he made the fight difficult for judges. I think he might have even gotten the knockdown in the first round in that fight as well. I can't really remember very, very, very cleanly, but he did do a fantastic first round against Sanrak. The second and third round, not so much. But that fight taught him to be technical. It taught him to be a bit more technical, because it was forced onto him. He couldn't fight that fight the way he would normally do and be the aggressor. And I think the same thing is going to be said in this fight as well. He can't be the aggressor here. He's going to have to be technical and basically methodically break Komawut down. Komawut, the game plan simple for him as well. Get aggressive, get on your bike, walk forward, walk right through Samingdam. Don't let Samingdam, the more time you give Samingdam to work, the more time it's going to be, the less time you're going to have to catch him. And Komawut's going to have to be the one that's just going to be the bully here. Go straight up into Samingdam, eliminate distances, get into the pocket, punch a hole into his chest, come over the top with a nice right hand, make him know that you're here to take his head off, and that's the game plan. It's unfortunately it's not gonna be the most technical one. Damn it, why is this name wrong here? He's not the most technical. But dude, that's how you beat him. That's how you beat Samingdam. You have to fight him. You have to go into the ring, stay him down and punch him in the face. Because that kind of what it does is, at least from what I've watched for Samingdam, if you do that to him and you limit the distance, then he does stand still and he does decide to just wail on you. And that's when Samingdam is most vulnerable. That's when you can actually crack him, is when you sort of force him into a fight he doesn't want to be into. Interesting matchup. I get the feeling that this fight's not gonna go the distance. I'll be very surprised if it does, because to be quite honest with you guys, both dudes are knockout kind of dudes. So, pardon me, I'm not gonna give you my pick who's gonna win it just yet, because we have our live. That was a betting man segment that we're gonna talk about, that we're gonna be live for later tonight. So keep a lookout for that. And that's when we'll review all the picks for this weekend's fight cards, or at least for UFC and one. But yeah, this is a crazy main event. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. I'm gonna keep moving to the co-main event for now. But yeah, that's a banger of a main event. Honestly, I can't wait for the let's go. Okay, co-main event, insane. Just want to say something quickly. The first time I noticed that the One Championships poster includes main event and co-main event. Well, it's not the first time, but on a Friday Fights card, normally they have the main event as the bigger guys on the picture, and then they will normally have the main event of the undercard. But now I'm seeing co-main event and main event on the poster. I find that quite interesting. I'm not sure why that is like that. But anyway, I thought it's really important information. Co-main event, we have Chawalit, one of the rising stars of 2025, taking on Sa Min from Myanmar. And again, I think this is going to be another wild kind of fight, purely because of who's competing here, right? So Techawalit, 18 years old, quite tall actually. His record in One Championship so far is 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO. He beat Ivan Bodiant by first round KO. So Min is 26 years old. His record in One Championship is 3 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by sub, which I find fucking mad. So the guy has fought MMA a few times actually. So he's fought MMA his first 3 fights in One Championship. Gaining a knockout and a submission and a split decision loss, and then he moved into Muay Thai and he took on Josh Trowbridge, and he won that fight by third round KO in that fight. And I thought that was a wild fight because he arguably lost round 2, and arguably he did lose round 2 in a bad fashion. He was getting beaten up badly in the third round, and at the very end, like the very end of that round, he cracks Josh with something hard. It was a right hand or it was a left hand. Drops him and Josh just doesn't recover. And I was just like, how? And I didn't like the body language of Seo Min as well. I was thought after the first round, I was like, this guy can't. What does he have? He has nothing in the tank after this. And if it wasn't for Josh walking into a shot, I think Josh would have cruised to a victory in that fight because he also got the knockdown. But anyway, Echawalit on the other hand is just an absolute monster in there. Tall, rangy, crafty, fantastic footwork. Attacks the body really well. The way he attacks the head, his counter striking is sharp. Doesn't really stay in the pocket long enough to get tagged. And I thought to myself, you know what? When it comes to like young talent, I know there's a lot of hype around the Gulazadas and the Stupanans and the Jojos and all those guys. But if you look at Tetawalit's last 2 performances, he took on Ivan, who's a very good boxer, and then he took on what's his name? Walid. What's his name? What's his surname? Saidali. Now, Saidali is not the most technical guy, but he's built like a rock and he hits really well, hard. And Tetawali disposed of him, dude, like easy. It wasn't even a competition. And I thought to myself, oh my word, this kid is actually, there's a talent there. Look, I want to see him go up against more competition, someone with a lot more a sort of style or skill set that can actually pose threats to him. And so, I mean, when I watched this fight against Josh, I just don't think he's that guy. Reason being is because Seo Min is aggressive going forward in the opening exchanges, particularly in the first round. He fights out of the southpaw stance. He's super aggressive, but he leaves himself exposed when he's going forward. Now, I know I'm giving you guys a pick early, and I didn't want to give this pick away but it just comes out when I'm breaking the stuff down. And watching the tape on both fighters, Seo Min does leave the head exposed when he's so aggressive. And then normally after that first round, he just doesn't have something in the gas tank anymore in round 2 and round 3. And Techawalit doesn't really give up a lot of positionings where he's available to be attacked. He's always moving. And then when he throws his overhand right or when he throws his combination, he doesn't throw it in a way where you can counter him. He kind of steps out of the way. For example, when he fought Bodent will come forward and throw some mad 2-piece on him. And he will just duck under and go chuck the dal overhand right. But while he throws it, he steps out of the way. It's an angle, and then if he misses that strike or if he lands that strike, he's already in a new angle to get you. You know what I'm saying? And if he misses, he's out of the way for a counter. I think this kid is actually well coached. There's something there, and I feel like over time he's only going to become more brilliant. He's an intense division he's fighting in, but who's rushing? At 18 years old, who's rushing? Nobody. I think he can take his time and grow and progressively come better. I don't think there's a lot of threats that's going to be posed to him in this fight. Bar the first round and the sort of rushing out of the blocks nature that Seo Min has. It's literally only the first round, and maybe even in the first half of that first round. After that, I think Techawalit will get him. But that's a interesting co-main event. At the end of the day, Tommy Min, East Myanmar, these guys are super durable. But I saw enough against the fighter in Georgetown, Trowbridge, where I was like, you should be walking through this guy, and he didn't. He only got to finish at the very, very end, and he lost that second round in the fashion where I was like, I don't know if he's going to claw it back. So let's see what happens. I'm not. I shouldn't be basing things on last performances only. But I mean, So Min primarily competed in MMA. You know what I mean? Let that sink in, and it can help you make a decision. But give me your thoughts in the comment section about the co-main event while I keep it moving, lads. All right, I'm gonna spend some time on this fight because it's a lot to break down here. We have flyweight Muay Thai Kunpon taking on Son Suk Noi. And we've got young versus old, and you guys know how I feel when there's like a 10, 15-year gap between fighters, right? Especially the one fighter is literally only just turned 20 years old. Kunpo is 20 years old. His record is Kunpon is 20 years old. His record in one championship is 3 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest. That 3-fight win streak, beating Petnakian by unanimous decision in his last fight. Son Suk Noi is 31 years old. His record in one championship is 5 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO. He lost to Stephen Irving by unanimous decision in his last fight. So what do we have here? We have a young prospect in Kunpon, tall for the division, very tall for the flyweight division actually. Fights at the southpaw stance, got fantastic game plans. You got a really good high kick, good deep kick as well, inside low kick, fantastic left straight when he steps forward. Just a very well coached fighter and doesn't really rush for KOs. He's a fighter that knows how to pick an opponent apart with that range. You know what I mean? So often you find such tall fighters. Competitive White is another example. They're tall in this division, but don't really use that range to their advantage the way you want. Every time I watch Competitive White fight, fighters eliminate the distance and they just take him out. Kunpon doesn't allow that. He's got such a nice bouncing on the balls of his feet stance, and then cuts angles. It's not often that we see traditional Thai fighters fight that way, but Kunpon does, which makes him a hard fighter to track down because he's always moving and he's long and rangy, and he uses range in a way where you can't just enter that distance. You can't just eliminate that distance or enter that pocket at will. You can't. Even if you're going to be aggressive, it's so difficult to get there because he's so elusive and creative in there that if you want to enter that pocket with him, he's either re-establishing that range or you're walking into an elbow, bro. And you're getting caught or something and he sinks you up, throws an elbow, gets out of the range again. He's really good at that. He establishes his distance really well. And I think that might even be his best attribute. He doesn't have a lot of power in his shots, but his selection of striking forces you to doubt yourself when you want to enter that pocket against him, which I think is high level for someone that's only 20 years old, right? Son Suk Noi, on the other hand, also fights at the southpaw stance, but powerful, super powerful, hard outside low kicks. Everything he throws is a lot of power, but not a lot of volume. He also has this tendency to, when his guard is quite high, which is good, right? I don't think it's going to be that good against someone that's taller than him. So his guard is quite high, right? And what he does is, whenever he's walking you down, look for an outside low kick. Because they're both southpaw, right? So that means the front leg is there. So you can chop that front leg. That's going to be probably what Son Suk Noi is going to attempt in this fight because he's like fighting the taller guy. But this is where I get a little bit skeptical about him. He doesn't pop out the jab and then hit the body and then from the southpaw stance. What he does is he keeps the guard in there and he just jumps forward into a hook. Whoop, right? If he misses that hook, he's clinching you up. Then he throws a knee and he separates again. If he gets that hook, then he'll go straight to the body or he'll go hook straight and then come with a left straight to the head, high kick or low kick. He ends those combinations like that. But what it does is it's like you can time it because it's not a sort of unusual pattern of strikes. It's almost telegraphed in a way. You can kind of see it coming. You know that when he puts the guard up and he walks forward. You can expect either commonly outside outside low kick, right? You can walk, or he's gonna come in with a straight left. He's jumping with the right hook. He's lunging forward with it, and that's his patterns to enter that space or to eliminate that space into the void. That's what he does. So you can kind of telegraph that. You can kind of see it. And Kunpon Noi that fights on such a long range, right? And he blasts a lot of tip kicks. He blasts inside low kicks, and because he doesn't have that much effort to lift the high kick and get you with it, because a lot of the guys are a lot shorter than him in this division. So he just goes doubles up on it. He establishes lane range. And as you come forward, the elbow steps off to his left, goes another one. So it's a tricky fight for Son Suknoy because the height discrepancy is quite massive. Kunpon, I think, is like 5'11" or something like that in this division. 5'10", right? And Son Suknoy 5'8", I think it is. 5'4", for fuck's sakes. That's a massive difference here. And I think that's going to be a very difficult hurdle for Son Suknoy. Personally, I think if he attacks the outside, if he attacks that low kick aggressively, right, and keeps that guard there, and then whenever he attacks that low kick and throws out a left straight, it's gonna force Kunpo to circle to his left. And you just whap, you whale a nice right hook, you throw it right hook out there. You basically have to cut off that angle from Kunpo that circles to away from your power because they're both southpaws. Right hook him to the body or to the head. You do that, it's gonna stop his movement. It's gonna force him to stay in front of you. And I think Son Suknoy has got the durability and he's got the experience to do that. It's just a matter of how he deals with the sort of the unorthodox patterns of Kunpon. Kunpon. Great fight, great co-main event. I'm looking forward to it. I do think stylistically both guys have got stuff that they can hurt each other. Kunpon's only 20 years old, guys. His body is still very young. That means if you hit that body, if you hit that ribs, you hit that stomach, yeah, you will feel it. The kid will feel it, right? But it's harder said than done, obviously, because he's such a good fighter and he's such a well balanced athlete in terms of how he moves and his range. It's wonderful to watch. Um, excuse me, Son Suknoy, if he uses that experience and that aggression, and forces Kunpon into a fight he doesn't want to be in, I can see it being a difficult fight for Kunpon. But the kid's good, guys. Let's see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about that one. I'm gonna keep it moving to the next fight, guys. Let's go. All right. So up next we have strawweight Muay Thai. Again, firefights here. This is gonna be a gunfight. I can tell you now. Face Erwan taking on Su Nwang U from Myanmar. And again, I think this is gonna be one of those ones that's gonna get the crowd going crazy, right? Because if you go watch these guys fight before, it's all gas no brakes kind of fighters. I would say Su Nwang is a little bit more technical, which is mad to say from the Myanmar guys, because normally they go in there and they just put everything into it. Face Erwan is 28 years old. His record in one championship is 3 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. 2 wins by KO. He lost to Payak Surin by second round TKO in his last fight. What a fight! I watched that fight back. It was just wild. Both guys getting knockdowns. Payak Surin conditioned him really, really well. And he actually exposed the game plan that you can actually deploy on someone like Face. I don't know if Sun Wang U would replicate that game plan because his style isn't really built around that. Um, Sun Wang U's 24 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He beat Mai Song Eun by unanimous decision, and that's a big win because Mai Song Eun is a very similar fight style to Face Erwan. They got a very similar approach to the fight, and what that style is, it's high aggression, right? Putting you on the back foot immediately, boxing heavy. Doesn't really throw a lot of kicks. If they do, it's an outside low kick. I don't really see Face Erwan throwing high kicks that much, or even hard keeps. He does like an outside low kick, or even going in with it, depending on what stance his opponent fighting as. In this fight, both these guys are orthodox fighters. So I'd imagine that from the orthodox stance, I can expect. No, excuse me, Erdogan's a southpaw. He's a southpaw. So that's opposite stance, right? So that's like maybe he will be throwing more high kicks in this fight. We'll have to see. But what I gathered from his performances is that he's a very boxing heavy approach fighter, super aggressive, gets on the front foot, right? Loves that left straight. That's his weapon of choice, especially when he doubles up with the jab and then comes in straight with the left. That's like his go-to weapon. It's how he actually knocked down Payak Surin, excuse me. But Payak Surin exposed something for me. Because Face is such a boxing heavy approach, that means his stance is a little bit wider. He's heavy on his front foot. So what Payak Surin did extremely well in that fight was he attacked the leg, that front leg, whether it was outside or inside. He was chopping away at it the whole time. And it conditioned Face. Because then Face he wasn't checking any of it. And he was getting heavy aggressive with the boxing because his leg was sore. You could see he didn't like it. And because he got so heavy aggressive with it, the only kick that Payak Surin went high with, basically took his head off. He took Face out of there with that kick. And that exposed the game plan for me for Face because of his aggressive nature. Sun Wang U fought against my Sung in his last fight and beat him. And I thought I gave him the win, right? He beat him by not only he Sunong didn't utilize a lot of high kicks the way or low kicks the way Pak Surin did. What it did was he, he waited actually. He allowed Mai Sang-un to use that aggression, right? That was his game plan. But what Sun Wang-u did really well was he was ripping the body a lot. He stayed in the pocket. Like, oh, you're coming forward, bang, 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 boom, 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 take it, body shot, circle out, boom, boom, body shot again, throws out the low kick. Then goes high, high, and then bodies him again. Dude, by the end of the first round, Mai Sang-un, you could see that his body was so cooked that every shot that Sun Wang-u landed on the body, whether it was going with the body shot or he went up high or tipped him, Mai Sang-un's response wasn't good. And because he's such an aggressive fighter on the front foot, boxing heavy, just like Face, I get the feeling that Face might walk into something like that as well. Right? Because also one thing about Sun Wang-u, you know what these Myanmar dudes are made of? They're made out of adamantium. They just don't know how to get hurt. And Sun Wang was one of those fighters that's young for Myanmar, and you can see he's being coached really well. So it's a tricky fight for him for Face because Face is such an aggressive fighter, and Sun Wang is just a very good boxer inside in fighting as well. He's just fabulous at it. But how does he deal with the Face? Because Face is not just gonna like Mai Sung gonna come in there and stay there and just box, box, box. He does throw the outside low kick quite consistently. So it's a tricky fight for Sun Wang because he's taking on an opponent that's not going to stand in front of him the whole time. He's going to be moving and being aggressive and trying to be active in every second of the fight. And then Sun Wang who isn't a high volume kind of guy, but a heavy puncher, and he does pick his shots quite interestingly. Stylistically, not really favoring either guy. Right? You would expect that with Face's pace and the aggression, you'd bag him round after round. It really could, because of the nature of Sun Wang, who is not a high volume kind of strike. But I just want to know what Face is going to look like, or how he's going to approach the fight once he gets hit in the body by Sun Wang. What does he do then? Interesting matchup. I get the feeling this fight's going to take place in the center of the ring, and it's just going to be boxing most of the time. But give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys, while I keep it moving to the next one. Let's go. All right, up next we have featherweight kickboxing, the big dudes. Let's go. And this is gonna be a fun fight. I get this feeling this fight's also probably gonna end in the finish purely because of who's fighting here. Mamuku Bayan is 31 years old, fighting out of Russia. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contests, 1 win by KO, and he beat Kunsuek out the Super One training camp by second round KO in his last fight. Just an absolute beast. Mamuka is. He's taking on Yassin Ayrad from Morocco, and that says the Netherlands there as well. He's 21 years old. He's making his one championship debut. His professional record is 7 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest. Or at least that's what Typology says. I don't know how credible that is. He does have a kickboxing-based nature. That is his fighting style. He's super aggressive with the boxing. In fact, that's primarily what he loves to throw. He's kicking. What I watched in his last fight, doesn't throw much of it, but what he does have a tendency to do is he just goes wild. He just boxes a lot and he throws looping shots. It comes at such a fast rate and consistent. It seems to be quite a big pattern out there in the Moroccan-based fight. This is what I'm gathering. A little bit like Hamza Rashid who fought last week, but Hamza Rashid seemed a little bit more technical for me. Because when I watched this fight with me, I think it could be the inexperience for me, but I'm not too sure. But he does get sloppy because of that aggressive boxing nature, and he goes wild with it. I don't know how it's going to fare up against Mamuka, who is brilliant. Like he's brilliant at what he does. He's got a good nature. His body shots are beautiful to watch, which means he knows how to select his targets really well. He's patient in there. He doesn't just give up space and give up targets that easily. He's a tricky guy, and I think this fight may also be in Mamuka's favor. I'm not completely convinced of it because at the end of the day, when you look at the nature of how Yassin fights, right, it's a fight that can be difficult to deal with because he's coming at you with all this wailing on you, and it's like a high pace the whole time, right? At the same time, I've seen enough to notice that he doesn't have good defense when it comes to that. And with a good boxer, with a good counter striker, Yasin could walk into a lot of danger. And that's why I'm a little bit fearful for him in this fight. Look, it's his debut. Anything can happen here. He could go and put on a masterful performance. You know what I mean? It could be one of those kind of fights. But I do think he's slightly outgunned here. Slightly. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna be a good display of kickboxing. Just watch. It's gonna be a good display of kickboxing. But for now, I'll keep it moving to the next one. Right. Up next, we have Atomweight Muay Thai. We have Gabriela Moram taking on Francesca Vera. This is a banger. This is a banger. I'm looking forward to this fight in particular. Gabriela Moram is 24 years old. Record in one championship is 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. 2-fight win streak, beating Nong Fasai by unanimous decision in the last fight. That was a good win against someone that's very good. Nong Fasai is a very, very good fight. Francesca Vera is 26 years old. Record in one championship is 4 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by TKO. 2-fight win streak, also beating Nong Fasai by unanimous decision in the last fight. Stylistically, very different kind of approach fighters. They don't fight the same at all. Gabriela Moram is one of the bigger atomweight fighters in there. She's stacked nicely. She's built really well. She moves forward. She's aggressive. She's got good power. Not a lot of volume, but heavy-handed. Very heavy-handed, right? Whether she's in tight and she's got some good elbows. She attacks nice level shots with the left hand. Good knees. Throws out the tips. Doesn't throw a lot of high kicks. I think a ball doesn't allow for it that much. But she's got powerful strikes. Likes to get on the front foot. But I will say this. She might be under the gun here when it comes to someone like Francesca Vera, purely because Francesca Vera is a little bit of a Tasmanian devil when she's in there. Super aggressive. I will not lose kind of approach. Gets in your face all the time. Good elbows in the clinch. Good body shots out on the outside. High pace, high volume. Stays on you all the time. Moves around like a freaking dust bunny. So it's hard to deal with that kind of pace. And that's what I'm thinking about this fight when I look at it stylistically. I'm like, Gabriela Moram is powerful. But so was Vera. And Francesca Vera beat her and looked fantastic at it. And the style she used to beat someone like that was, I'm going to stay in your face. I'm going to punch you 10 times. Every one punch you're going to throw at me, I'm going to hit you 10 times back. Elbow, take it. Stay in your face. Stay in your face. Just the whole time. Dog-like nature. And I fear for Gabriela Moram for that kind of style. I really do. And if Vera couldn't put out Francesca Vera, who was smaller than her, timid in comparison to her in terms of the frame, but Francesca Vera had the bigger dog in her. And I think that's what's going to be the performance here. For me, the only way you beat Francesca Vera is you have to have a bigger dog inside of you to beat her, because that's how she fights. She's stylistic, skillfully, she's very good. Vera, she's got very good elbows from the outside and in the clinch. She's got very good boxing. She's super aggressive. Her volume is almost second to none in this division. Right, her footwork is fantastic, meaning now she can move around and stay out of danger. She's durable. It's not easy to put her away. She stays in the pocket really, really long, and she just stays in your face. And we watch Gabriela Moram's fights. When she does lose, it's against a style like that. When Gabriela Moram wins, it's when a fighter isn't higher volume, from the back foot, maybe throws kick-heavy approach, and Moram can walk you down and then start using the power shots. That's when she's fabulous to watch. It's going to be a good fight. I do think Gabriela Moram is going to look to be bullish in the first round, but I don't know if it's going to be lasting throughout the fight. I think Vera is going to pick up the pace on her and back up. If Vera backs her up in the first round, then I just don't see Moram coming back from it. I really don't. But the fight, the way the fight's going to play out all depends on how that first round goes. Who asserts their dominance early, whose game plan is going to be the one that works out. I think for Vera, game plan is quite simple. Stay in the face, stay in the pocket, even try to keep it in the clinch if you will, and you can get her out of there. Moram, look to use the long-range weapons, look to be the bully, and maybe even utilize stepping knees, because Vera does to get in the pocket and come in and throw stuff like that, so she can use for stepping knees, or I could stop the entries from Vera, and sort of just hold your own against her. Don't go on the back foot too much, because Vera's just gonna keep increasing the pace on you every round. It's gonna be an interesting fight. The more and more I look at it, the more and more I struggle to see Gabriela Moram win, and that's not throwing shade on her. I think she's a very, very good fighter. I think she's really good. It's just stylistically, it doesn't feel like it's a good matchup for, especially because Gabriela Moram and Vero fight very similarly. They got a very similar style. Vero is a little bit more punch heavy. Like she'll stay in the pocket a little bit longer than Moram. Moram can tend to go into the clinch if she doesn't get the box in there. She clinches up with you. But it's a very similar base to Vero, and Francesca Vero walked through that style without fear. It didn't even bother her. So that's why I'm like, I'm not too convinced on Moramia in this one. But look, dudes, at the end of the day, anything can happen. We don't always get these predictions correct. So let's see what happens, right? But let me know in the comment section who you guys have in this fight. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend time on this one purely because I spent probably like 2 hours looking up Linted Ang, and it's so difficult to find tape on this guy. And like whenever I type in his name, I'm getting other people that's not even in the fight business. I looked through Thai Fight League, I looked through Litterway Fighting. It's so hard to find tape on this young man. So I'm not too familiar with him, and that's why I just can't give you a prediction on this fight. We do know that Haruyuki Tanitsu has been in one for a while. He's 22 years old. Lin Tit Ang is 25 years old. Tanitsu is regularly won his 4 wins, 2 losses, contest, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO, 2 fight losing streak. He lost to Harling on by unanimous decision, who's also another Myanmar fighter. And Tanitsu, like skillfully, he's good, right? He's a big strawweight, by the way. Got that Japanese kickboxing style, so he attacks the tips, he attacks the calves, got good sharp boxing, but he looks like he's made out of wet noodles. Like if you hit him, he's gonna go down. He looks like a little bit sloppy when he's in there, like he's made out of a worm. You know what I mean? And he's not durable. He's taking on a durable fighter. So it's like he's probably gonna piece up Lented Ang for the first round. Look super fucking dope in the rounds. Like look like to be the most superior fighter. But then he's gonna get tagged and he's probably gonna get dropped. And then you're gonna go, now what was the point of all that volume striking? And then he just gets dropped after one shot to the face, right? So that's Tanitsu for you. This is what I've watched him in one championship. Brilliant going forward. But whenever the opponents he fights, when they do land on him, where they hit him back with something, he goes down almost immediately. And that always like makes me go, I don't know, eh? It just feels like all that flashy stuff he throws is for nothing. It just feels like it's like, where's the power, bruh? Put some power into your shots. Don't just pop shot, spin, pop shot. Like let's sit down on one of your shots. Like let's throw a hard left straight or a hard left hook. Because I think he's a southpaw fighter as well. But again, I just don't know who's gonna win because Lin Tit Ang is a little bit of an unknown factor for me. So. And also, Ariyuki hasn't really got success against the Myanmar fighters. That's just the truth. But let's keep it moving, guys. Okay. Up next, we have flyweight Muay Thai. And we have one Mohammed Sabri. That's kind of funny because I have a very close friend of mine named Sabri. He's taking on Ramu Araya from Japan. One Mohammed Sabri, 23 years old, is making his one championship debut. I've watched his tape when he fought at Thai Fight League. He's an orthodox fighter. He's got good counter striking. He's got okay defense. Actually, I would say his defense is not really that good. Ramu Araya is 25 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, no contest. He lost to Rustam Yunusov. No shame in that. Rustam Tamawok Yunusov that was an unanimous decision, by the way. He's a good fight. It's Rustam, one of the biggest prospects so far in terms of the teenagers. Rustam is undefeated in one. The dude looks amazing. So anyone that loses to him, it's like losing against a future champion. Let's just put that out there. So no shame at that, right? But he did take Rustam to decision, which isn't a frequent thing you see because Rustam always gets a finish. So that's something to take away. So in this fight, based on what I saw from Juan Mohammed, I think he's got a really good counter striking. He's got good left straights on him. He can fight in the clinch, but his defense is not the greatest. Whenever he does go backwards and he's about to defend, he doesn't actually get the guard up. Whenever someone throws a strike, he tends to like just leave his hands here and does this thing, does that, and it's like you're gonna get hit if you do that. I would love to see him take that shot, go with it, come up with a counter, not just leave your hands out here and expose and half close your eyes and then move your head a little bit. You know what I mean? You need to keep your guard up and then move your head away from the target, away from the shot. You know what I'm saying? You need to, and if you're not going to move your head, then at least keep the guard there to take it. Then you come back with something, but don't remove your hands from your face unless you need to take a shot to the body. But like if you're moving your hands away from your face, dude, there's a high chance you're gonna get hit. Very high chance you're gonna get hit by something. So that's the one thing I noticed about that tape I watched on Juan Mohammed. Doesn't really go forward that much, but again, also maybe the opponent he fought against didn't allow him. Araya does go forward. He does try to fight back. He is aggressive. He's got a good body kick on him. It's an interesting matchup. I don't have a pick for this one just because, yeah, it's hard to choose whenever there's a debut fighter. So I don't actually have a pick for this one. But if you guys can give me your thoughts on that in the comment section, that would be absolutely amazing and greatly appreciated. Let's keep it moving, guys. Right, up next we have two debutant fighters, lightweight MMA. This is going to be an interesting fight. We have Hiro Marco Mangurai from the Philippines. He's 23 years old. He's making his one championship debut. His professional record is 4 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest, 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO. No, excuse me, 2 wins by TKO and 1 win by sub. Here you go. Maike Ohura from Japan. He's 24 years old. He's making his one championship debut. His professional record is 4 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest, 3 wins by sub. And he's primarily known to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, mainly competes in BJJ as well. So what do we have here? We have Hiro Marco, who is a tall lightweight fighter. He's also got very good kickboxing on him. He's got a nice low kick and good long straights. I believe he's the taller fighter between the two guys. Let me just double check that quickly for a second. Yeah, 6'4" for Hiro, and Mike is 5'8". Yeah, Mike is 5'8". And again, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. And this is what I gathered in MMA. When there's a fighter that is like basically 99% jiu-jitsu, like not a lot of wrestling within them, they don't really fare up that well against an MMA grappler. That's someone that can utilize grappling in MMA, good wrestling, very competent wrestling, and on top of that, a fighter that can strike really well. You know, Hiro, I won't rate him, so this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna watch him outside of watching past fights on YouTube. But what I gathered is that he uses his range really well. He starts the fight fast and hard, puts out good straights, goes for attack first, and then when he notices that his fighter is maybe looking for takedowns or they're still doing really well on the feet, then he takes them down and he looks for submissions and he looks for good ground and pound. Mika is probably going to try and shoot for takedowns early. I don't know if it's going to be successful. He's taking someone that's very, very tall and hard to take down. And also, I think Hiro's probably going to piece him up. And then you're going to see panic wrestling from Mika. And it's probably going to lead to him getting TKO'd or finished. The only way that he wins this fight is submissions. I doubt that fight's even going to get to that point in the fight. So let's see what happens, guys. Let's see what happens. Give me your thoughts in the comments section. We're going to keep it moving. Okay. Another foreign fighter for Lamnan Unlek. We have bantamweight kickboxing Lamnan Unlek, 27 years old, former RWS champion. Record in one championship is 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest, 2-fight win streak. Beat Javier Galvez by unanimous decision. And I like the way he won that fight, by the way. I was very impressed with his performance. He's taking on Daniel Poitas from Spain. Poitas, that's how you say it. He's 33 years old. His record in one championship is 1 win, 2 losses, 0 no contest. He lost to Superlek by unanimous decision in his last fight. I just remembered he fought against some big names, right? Superlek he lost to, and he lost to Panpayak as well. Right? Let's just put some respect on those losses. But I think he's gonna lose again here. I really do. I think Lamnan Unlek is very good. Daniel Poitas' style, what is he gonna do to it that's gonna stop Lamnan Unlek? Lamnan Unlek, he's such a well-coached athlete, and there's a very good game plan from the southpaw stance. Now moving into kickboxing, he's even more dangerous because now he's like, he looks to be a little bit more expressive in there, if that makes sense. In Muay Thai, especially in 4 ounce Muay Thai. Lam Lek fought a little bit more tentative in here. But we watched Lam Lek when he was fighting RWS, when he was fighting Thai boxing, when he had the big gloves in Muay Thai. He, he's a little bit of arrogance and air of like I'm the best in the world kind of fight style from Lam Lek. He's got that vibe about. And we look at his fight against Javier Galvez, same thing. Kickboxing. How did he fight that fight? He fought as if he believed that there's nothing that Javier was going to be able to hit him with or was going to hurt him. That's how he fought that fight. Smooth, fast, creative, elusive, defensively sound, doesn't take a lot of shots. Beautiful body kicks, beautiful inside low kick. Got a good left straight, then left high kick to follow. And he does it at such a fucking fast pace. He even tripled up with the left kick. It's beautiful to watch. And again, the longer the fight goes on, he just gets a lot more creative and harder to beat. But if you put the pace on him, because he did lose, and I think he did lose against someone, and yeah, he lost against Kong Suk. Split decision loss. That was his debut fight. He lost, and then he beat Kong Suk the second time. But in the first fight, he lost, and Kong Suk put the pace on him and kept him on the back foot, and had good counter boxing for Lam Unlek. And that's how you beat him, right? But in the second fight, Lam Unlek utilized his range and his distance and blasted body kicks. He's a tough guy to beat because of that movement. He's defensively sound, and fighters that are defensively sound is just hard to beat. A little bit like Arsenal. And I'm using football references right now, but like they're hard to beat because defensively they're just impossible to penetrate, and that's the thing here with Lamnon Nick as well. He's a hard guy to hit because he's defensively brilliant, and that's why I got Daniel Guetta struggling in this fight. So give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Who do you think gets the job done there? I'm going Lamnon Nick. I'm gonna keep moving to the next fight. Let's go. Okay. Up next, we have flyweight Muay Thai. We have Johan Ghazali making his return to one championship again. Um, and he was supposed to take on Sean Klamikow, if I'm not mistaken, who beat the guy who beat him last in Diego Paez, by the way. Um, this is going to be an interesting fight. He's taking on a debutant, He In Nguyen from Myanmar. Two young cats going up against each other here, Johan Ghazali. This may even be a trickier fight for Ghazali actually than the Klamikow fight. Ghazali, 19 years old. His record in one championship is 7 wins, 3 losses. So no contest, 5 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO, and he beat Zakaria Al Jamari by first round TKO in his last fight. Yi Yin Nguyen, it's a bit of a tongue twister. Yi Yin Nguyen is making his debut. He's on a 2-fight losing streak at the moment, but there's a big but. I did watch his last fight, which was about a month ago or 2 months ago, in a Thai fight league, almost a street fighter league, in Thai fight league, and I'm impressed with it. He fought against Spetsiam, by the way, and I was like, dude, this is actually impressive. He's a southpaw fighter, very very aggressive with the leg kicks. Like he's also pacey, and his leg kicks are like I said. When I say aggressive, I mean like he's kicking you with cool intentions, and he just moves forward with it the whole time. The last fight I watched against Spetsiam, he threw like 4 body kicks, bah, 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 and then backed him up, inside low kick, outside low kick. Then like when he gets in tight, sharp boxing, good elbows, by the way. I think he poses a lot of threats to Ghazali. He's from Myanmar. Those guys are hard to knock out. I think Ghazali, you know what Ghazali is like. He's a powerful puncher, very aggressive, but sometimes he fights for the fans more than he fights for himself. And that sometimes, for me, catches up to him. Because he wants to go in there and get the knockout and become such a boxing heavy fighter. Ghazali abandons his leg kicks, which I think is weird. After spending so much time with Superbon and Nong O, you don't see him kick. And it's like, why aren't you kicking? He's a bit top heavy for me, so he relies on that boxing and that range over the guys at flyweight. But I think he's gonna get met with someone that's gonna meet him in the center of the ring and probably blast him with so many kicks that's gonna force him to fight a different way. Um, I don't have a pick for this one. It's hard for me to choose. I can't really make a pick, and I can't base it off much because I've only seen the tape of Yin Nguyen earlier today. I've only watched 2 fights of it, and of him, and yeah, I don't want to base a decision based on that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when those fights were a few months back. So I want to see what he looks like. It's 4 ounce Muay Thai, not big gloves. Okay, mind you, Thai Fight League they don't fight with gloves, so that's something to take into account. I do believe that this is going to be a tricky fight for Ghazali. I don't know if Yin Nguyen gets the win, but I do believe, based on what I'm seeing stylistically, Kazali may have a tough time in this fight here. Let's see. Let's see. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I'm gonna keep. Hey. Uah, uah. Okay, up next we have Adam. So the Japan taking on Walid Snoosi. With Muay Thai. Adam is 17 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 1 loss in a contest. He beat Toma Kuroda in an decision. And that was kickboxing. It was kickboxing, by the way, and he won that fight. I thought it was interesting. I don't want to see Adam fight kickboxing ever again. But he won that fight. Walid Snoosi is 29 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 0 losses, 1 no contest. That was against Jurai Ishii. It ended in an eye poke, which was a bit unfortunate, but I did believe watching the tape back, he was losing the round. But his record overall is 4 wins. So, you know, again, that's not too bad. I don't know what his style is like because the fight against Jurai Ishii, there wasn't enough time for us to see what he does. Right? Not enough time to see what he does, but it did look like he was a boxing heavy kind of fighter. He's taking on someone that's going to stand in the pocket with him. Adam likes to go forward. Adam has also got some good boxing, good kickboxing, good kicks, nice elbows. Fights like his brother, by the way, like Alif. But Alif seems to be a little bit more craftier than Adam. Adam is still very young, very much what's the word? Naive in terms of his aggression. And look, I just get the slight feeling that Walid's probably gonna catch him because of the experience and the know-how, right? But at the end of the day, it's a Muay Thai fight, and in these 4 ounce Muay Thai gloves, if Adam gets aggressive, he could land something big on him. But I just sometimes get scared when I see 17-year-olds fighting against guys that are almost 30 already. It's like even if they're skillfully equal, it's still questionable, man. It's still something I can't get behind. So I'm not gonna give a pick for this one because it's so difficult for me to choose. I wanna say Walid, that because of the nature that Adam is only 17 years old. But at the same time, Adam is a skillful fighter. He's brave, he's young, he goes forward, but he's got such a baby face, man. And you can see he's still in school, man. And that to me is a big factor when it comes to these kind of fights. Now, if it was kickboxing, I might have a different approach to it. But because it's Muay Thai, let's see what happens, eh? I'm a little bit not too confident for Adam in that one. And I'm not saying he's gonna lose. I'm just not as confident picking for that fight. But you guys can let me know in the comment section. But like, okay, we have another atomweight Muay Thai fight where we have Chok D taking on Mahe Suwan. And Chok D is 28 years old. His record in one championship is 3 wins, 4 losses. No contest, 1 win by KO, 1 win by TKO. 2 fight losing streak. He lost to Yodoi by first round KO in his last fight. Mahe Suwan is 25 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 2 losses. No contest. He's got 2 wins by TKO. He lost to Pet Naya by unanimous decision in his last fight. I'm not too sure. Chok D is good. He's good. Sometimes it takes a little bit too long to get going, which I don't like. But the amount of losses, Yodim Chai and getting KOs, and it's like I'm not too convinced, man. He's there to be hit frequently, right? And my Suwin is actually pretty good. Even though he lost to Petnaya, he's not that bad. He also beat Pet. Nobody beats my boy Pet. Right? He knocked out Pet. And for me, that's a big thing. He fought Yodnum Chai. Yodnum Chai is a top fighter. I don't see enough of him, but he's a very good fighter. Losing to him is not something to be sad about. Even Petnaya as well. Technically, I'd say Maya Suwan is a little bit better. He knows how to pick his shots. He's a bit more defensively. Chok D is just all gas, no breaks, and sometimes that leads to him getting KO'd. So that fight is going to be one of those fights where I can see it in by a finish. But I don't know who. I'm going to tip it towards Maya Suwan, just because I think he's technically better. Like he's got a bit of a brain on him and knows how to use that. With Chok D, I'm not saying he doesn't have a brain, but like he's too reckless, man. I don't like fighters that are so reckless because it's like if I'm gonna go in there and be that reckless or be that aggressive, like it can get you success, but it's like the risk is so high that even if you're better than this fighter, you're giving him a puncher's chance by being so aggressive, right? That's it. You can be aggressive, but you can also be like Lamnan Lek. You can choose your shots. You can time him. You can set up feints. You can set up traps. You don't have to just go in there and wail like your life depends on it. Um, because then you just keep like, giving up spaces where you're gonna get tagged all the time. So and that's how I see Chok D fight. But let's go. Let's go. Give me your thoughts in the comment section, guys. And then finally, opening bout of the fight card, we have strawweight MMA. We have Moises Lewis Uligon taking on Masaki Suzuki. Moses is 25 years old. His record in one championship is 2 wins, 1 loss, in no contest. 1 win by TKO. He beat Limbo by unanimous decision in his last fight. Great fight, by the way. This was a back and forth fight between the two guys. Masaki Suzuki is 27 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, in no contest. He lost to Nazareth Latza Zuala by first round KO in his last fight. And yeah, I get the feeling we might see the similar result here for Moises. Moises is taller, sharper boxing, aggressive. Now the Philippines fight, these guys are high pace, high volume, all gas, no breaks. Moises can also wrestle, but I think his range and the way that he strikes is going to be the keys to his victory here. Fighting from the outside, getting aggressive, and utilizing that in my opinion, superior boxing. Masaki Suzuki, I don't know what to make of this fella, because he changes up his record online. So when you research this guy, you get different results. There's one where he looks undefeated, and there's one where he's got so many losses. There's other one where he only has one fight, and it's like, what is this man's results? And when I watch him fight that last fight, one championship against Nazareth, it was like, what was Masaki even doing in there? You know what I mean? He looked like he doesn't look like he was just showing up to get a paycheck, really, and he didn't even get paid that well in one. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know what his best attributes are. Is he a striker? Is he a wrestler? Is he a jiu-jitsu guy? What is his game plans? Nazareth knocked him out pretty quickly. I get the feeling that Moses is probably going to do the same thing as well. But you can let me know in the comment section who you guys got in this opening bout of the fight card. It's going to be a banger. As you know, whenever I do a preview and I'm doing every single fight on the card, that means that it's good matchups, right? So, yeah, love to get your thoughts in the comment section. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe if you feel so inclined to do so. All of that does help us grow the channel. The community is growing literally week in, week out. I can see the growth every single day. Much love to you guys all. Just another reminder, we are going live this evening for our betting man segment. We're going to be talking about our picks for UFC's fight night. Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira, and then we're also going to be doing our parlays for this fight card, One Friday Fights 141. Hopefully, if we get access to Sporty Bet and we get that account up and running, then we can do both one championship and UFC. But if we don't get the access today, then what I'll do is I'll just give you guys my picks for One Friday Fights 141. AD will then lock those picks in for us tomorrow morning, which I'll then bring up on screen for the Friday Fight Squad when we go live for that one. But okay, that is my time, everybody. Thank you for watching. We made it this far. Like, share, and subscribe. From myself and the Fighting with Friends team, have a very good day, morning, evening, wherever you're watching from. And I will catch you guys on the next one. See you later. Cheers, everybody.